Cairo. We can speak to two people now. Professor Tariq Masood, who is a Middle East specialist at the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University, and Sammy Hamouda, the president of the Arab Society of London. Most of his family is in Egypt. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Professor Masood, first of all, you heard there that some of the protesters were asking Matthew Bell whether the story was getting out, whether the world was watching. Well, clearly the world is watching. How significant is that?
How significant is the world watching?
Yes.
I think it's pretty significant because Egyptians have long had a sense that were it not for foreign support for their governments, that they'd actually be much closer to having democracy and freedom. So I think they want to demonstrate to the world that they're able to protest for democracy. They generally want it. They're not protesting for Islamic law or anything else that's frightening. And I think they're hoping for encouragement from the world community.
Sammy Hamouda, as I said, most of your family is in Egypt. I'm not sure exactly where, but when you see these scenes on a daily basis on the television, what are your thoughts? What are the emotions that are going through your mind?
To be honest with you, I'm really, really happy. Just see that countries finally take a step forward to get their freedom back. Because all this time there's been this fear inside people. And to actually see it actually doing something about it and taking it into their own hands and basically going out there and doing it for themselves, it really makes me proud to see that they're actually trying to get their own freedom back, trying to get their rights back. So it makes me really happy to see that they're actually doing all this. Yeah.
Sammy, I've asked this a couple of times and I still don't feel that I've got the answer, and it may be because there isn't an answer, but why do you think after all these years of what people are telling us has been dissatisfaction and repression of sorts, why do you think finally people have snapped? Is it because similar things have happened in other countries, or is it because of something else?
Absolutely. I think it is the fact that they saw what happened in Tunisia, and that encouraged them. When they saw that system worked, like it got a result. They put themselves in that position. They understand that they're in the same position as Tunisia. Tunisia went out and did something about it. So there's no reason why this system wouldn't work with Egypt as well, because there is no other way of doing it. Like, we always wish that there was another way of doing it, but unfortunately, this is the only way. The voting doesn't help. Speaking help. It seems like this is the only way that the government would actually be taken out of power, really.
Professor Masood, for people who are wondering why this might matter to them, can you explain why what is going on in Egypt is significant? Just explain really the geopolitical position of Egypt.
Well, Egypt is the largest Arab country in the world. It's everything important in the Arab world seems to originate from Egypt, whether it be the ideology of pan-Arabism to the ideology of pan-Islamism. These all get their start in Egypt. So every kind of major intellectual movement that has seized the Arab world in the 20th century has come out of Egypt. And so if Tunisia had small demonstration effect, I think Egypt will have a much larger demonstration effect. And so what we're seeing in Egypt could lead to things in other countries. Another reason that Egypt has a geopolitical importance is that it's a very close ally of the United States in the war on terrorism, and it is the first Arab country to have made peace with Israel, and so it's seen as being a bulwark against conflict with Israel. So for all those reasons, I think people in the United States and in the West more generally are paying a lot of attention. But I think the most important reason that this is important is that if Egypt turns to democracy, it will put to rest once and for all this idea that Arab and Islamic countries aren't fit for, ready for, or desirous of democracy.
Let me ask you one final question, Professor Masood, and in a way there's actually two questions, but they're interrelated. I was going to ask you how you think this will end or what will happen next, but we have been waiting for a couple of hours now for this statement from President Mubarak, and it hasn't happened yet. Do you think we should read anything into that?
I'm not sure that we should read anything into it. It's about, I think, 8 p.m. right now, or 8:20 p.m. in Egypt. It's possible that we could see him on the television in the next few minutes, but the main point is that I think he's waited this long because maybe in the beginning didn't take it very seriously, and also was concerned about showing the kind of weakness that Ben Ali showed that was the last straw in his regime. So I think what we may see Mubarak saying tonight, it's very difficult to predict, but he may try to make some concessions that would deflect blame from his regime to the actual current government of Prime Minister Ahmed Nazif. And you could see him making a whole set of concessions that are directed at changing the government, changing economic policy, punishing certain members of the NDP that people have gotten fed up with. It's just not clear whether that would be enough for people right now.
Okay, well, we shall wait and see. Thank you to both of you, to Sammy Hamouda and to Professor Tariq Masood. As I said, we are still waiting for that statement. When it happens, bring that to you here on